It was late afternoon when Daniel, a young corps member serving his country, arrived in a quiet, dusty village in western Nigeria. His khaki trousers were slightly rumpled from the long journey, and the sun beat down on his NYSC cap as he dragged his box across the rugged ground. The air smelled of red earth, burning firewood, and unfamiliar silence. He had barely walked a few steps into the village when a sharp cry caught his attention. Two children stood a few feet ahead. One, a much bigger boy, was shoving a smaller girl who looked terrified and helpless. Around them, a few adults and other children stood, watching like statues. No one lifted a finger. Daniel's sense of justice kicked in. He dropped his box, picked up a stick nearby, and stormed toward the scene. "Stop that," he barked, yanking the bully away from the girl. "Apologize to her. Now." The boy, clearly used to having his way, stood his ground. "I won't." A light smack of the stick changed his tone. "I said apologize." Daniel repeated. Grudgingly, the boy muttered, "Sorry," then burst into tears and bolted down the path, yelling behind him, "Corper. I promise you, you'll regret this." Daniel watched him go, confused. "What's wrong with that boy?" he asked the gathering crowd. An older man shook his head and whispered, "Uncle Corper, for your own good, go back to where you came from. That boy is untouchable in this village." "Untouchable? Why?" Daniel asked. No one answered. Just then, a chilling silence fell over the crowd. A woman approached, draped in beads and cowries, with charcoal markings on her face. Her presence seemed to suck the air out of the space. The boy was clinging to her skirt, smacking through his tears. She was the village juju priestess. "So," she said with a cold smile, "you had the boldness to touch my child, Corper." Daniel faced her, heart steady. "Good evening, Ma. Your son was oppressing that little girl over there." The priestess turned sharply to the girl. "Did my son oppress you?" The girl, now trembling, looked at the priestess, then at Daniel. We were only playing," she stammered. Daniel frowned. "But you were crying. What kind of play makes someone cry like that?" The priestess hissed. "Is it your play? I'm only taking it lightly because you're a stranger. Now, apologize to my son. Or lose your sight." Murmurs broke out among the villagers. Some begged him to obey. "Corper, please. Just say sorry and go your way." But Daniel stood firm. "I can't. That would be encouraging wickedness. I disciplined him because he was wrong." The priestess's smile vanished. She began chanting, her voice rising in a strange, ancient rhythm. She pulled out a pouch and blew white powder into his face. Gasps ran out. Daniel didn't flinch. He calmly wiped his face, took a deep breath, and spoke. "I know who I am in Christ Jesus. No weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against me in judgment, I condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. And their righteousness is of me, said the Lord." The words hung in the air like thunder. Then it happened. The priestess stumbled backward. My eyes, she screamed, clutching at the air. I can't see." Panic erupted in the crowd. Villagers rushed to her side, trying to help. But it was no use. She had gone blind. Completely. Daniel stood still. Not out of pride, but in awe of the God he served. One of the elders turned to him, eyes wide. Who are you?" Daniel didn't answer immediately. He looked down at the little girl, now smiling shyly at him. Then he looked back at the villagers. "I'm just a corper," he said, "but more importantly, I'm a child of the Most High God. Stand for what is right, even when it costs you." And with that, he picked up his box and continued down the path.